Thank you. Thank you so much, Taylor, and everyone for having me here. Yes, like Taylor had mentioned, I did graduate from ASU back in December 2018. My degree is actually in nutrition dietetics, but you guys are not here to listen to me about talking about all the fun nutrition out there. We're here to talk about websites. So a couple of the biggest things that I want you to accomplish by the end of this is having a clear theory of what it is a modern media company looks for when we design websites for our clients and whatnot. I want you to have the same framework and a go-to-market strategy for how to actually implement that. So please, throughout the presentation, if you can write down your notes and even send them directly to me or in the chat, I just want to make sure that this is the most valuable hour that you spend with me right now, and hopefully this whole week. So we will get started on that. And like I said, I'm very unconventional. My background's unconventional, and hopefully this will set a clear expectation of what it means to have a website in 2021. What we're going to cover today, quick background on myself, who I am, the website theory model that we use, tools, next steps, and then Q&A. If you don't see something that you want me to go over, please, like I said, make a note. So very quick background on myself. I'm the author of a book called We're All Marketers, co-founder of Boundless Media. We're a B2B lead generation organization, specifically helping tech companies get more book calls. So we can definitely talk about why websites are so important there. I'm a CMO of a venture company called 3 to 60 Ventures and a public speaker. So events just like this all across the States. Today, we are going to be just deconstructing my own website, Boundless Media. And the biggest thing I want here is, no, this is not a selfless plug for my organization, but it's really like a hard-won lesson. We spent many hours building websites for both ourselves, our clients, and the lessons I've learned have come at a great cost. So hopefully I can destroy all the notion of bad websites for you today. So what do I need? You need to have 3 things to have a successful website. You have to know your market, understand your message, and be very concise in the offer, or in this case, a call to action that actually you want someone to take away with, right? So what do I mean by this? If you take Boundless Media specifically, and each one of you have different ventures or different size organizations, and frankly have different objectives for wanting to build a website. For us, it was to make sales. Like I, as a business, employ employees. So I have to make sure that I have enough money in the bank account to pay them and hopefully myself from the top, right? So if you deconstruct Boundless Media, right, us, we're B2B, our market is B2B technology companies, right? Our need, the need that we solve is lead generation for those organizations. The message is all centered around the frustration with inconsistent lead flow. Now, for you and your organization, there can be so many different types. So figure out, what is that market? Is it mom and pops in Chandler, Arizona that struggle with not having a great bookkeeper on staff? And their offer and your offer supports that. Are you that go-to-market person for those individuals? So whatever that is, make sure that you understand the market that you want to target, which will definitely influence the verbiage you use, the colors, and all that on the website. The message will be so important to convey those people to reach out to you. And hopefully, if you're talking about here, whether it's nonprofits or public or private enterprises, you want them to actually give you money to do something, hopefully, or some type of call to action. So we want to make sure that our message is concise. This is the overview for today. The need, we'll discuss very high level, the need that you have, the website theory model that we use, a live website walkthrough, and then a key next steps that you can implement today. Each one of you solves a unique problem, whether that is with technology, a service, whatever it is, you solve a specific problem. And I can tell you from experience, I've pivoted this business more than 3 times in the 3 years that we've been active. And each time it's getting closer to that, solving a specific need. When we first started the organization, it was purely, I want to help people do stuff online. And now it's translated into, I want to help B2B companies generate more leads. It's been a natural progression here. And the reason we didn't do well, especially with our website development early on, is I did not have that key insight on what my market actually needed and a solution to solve that need. So this is not going into your pitch or your venture, but just make sure there's a problem that you're solving. What's in it for them? Do you save people money, time, energy? Do you give them peace of mind? Whatever that is, make sure that your need actually solves some frustration or something to that person. And make sure that you have a why now statement. Why is right now the best time to engage with your venture? Again, we don't have time to go over the need that you have, but just make sure you can have the prettiest, best website with the best SEO. But if it doesn't solve a problem for your end customer, it will not be, frankly, in my opinion, worth it to develop all that fantastic marketing copy that you're going to do. And just again, a quick background on how concise your message will get for your website. We help CEOs and CMOs for software businesses doing more than $1 million a year get more consistent leads. It's a very clear statement, very clear niche that we're targeting. And in this case, for your venture, getting to this point will, yes, you'll turn away people, but it'll be so beneficial. You'll make something that when someone reads any copy on your website or go to your website, they'll be like, wow, this company literally does the thing that I need and solves the problem that I have. So this is our website theory model. It's a value proposition, process, social proof, and call to action. So the value prop that is probably the most important aspect of your website. What is in it for that person visiting your website? You all have gone to, or probably seen a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, YouTube ad where you're like, wow, this sounds interesting. Click the link, go to a website, and frankly, you don't know why you're there or what you have to do. So you log off. You have less than 3 seconds to convince someone right there that your website is worth exploring more. And below, I'll show you a quick example on how we have generated a call to action and value proposition that gets people to stay on our website, frankly, by implementing this thing like 15% more. Next is the process. Tell the person how you work. What makes you special? Before buying anything, and most of you have probably gone through it, before buying any product or service, you read more, you want to know what the process is. If I'm working with a CPA, I want to know why you're the best CPA for me. How do you work? How do you save me money? Can you even save me money? That's a huge one I like to ask. Social proof, testimonials, logos. We'll talk about what is a good testimonial, how to incorporate, and even ask clients for those pieces of information. And then a very concise call to action. What do you want someone on your website to do? Do you want them to fill out a form? Do you want them to watch a video? Do you want them to call you? We will discuss that throughout this. So value proposition. Whenever I'm on a sales call, and again, my market is B2B, business to business organizations, right? Technology companies. I always pause at this slide or when I'm on the website, I let this sink in. Because frankly, this is the value proposition that my organization brings to other organizations. We want to add $500,000 to your pipeline. Now, if you are a mom and pop selling ice cream cones in Glendale, maybe this isn't interesting. You're like, oh, well, I don't have a pipeline, or $500,000 would destroy my operation. But whatever that value statement is that you can bring, whether that is, this is something I'm going to go to the audience really quickly. Just high level, tell me the market that you're in, and I want to incorporate some of these analogies inside of my presentation as well. But frankly, this is the value proposition. If you're not interested in adding $500,000 for Boundless Media in this case to your pipeline, you shouldn't be on my website. Don't waste your time. The value and just to really not beat a dead horse, but really, it could be a statement, it could be a story, it could be a video, whatever that is. Making sure that we convey the value proposition that your organization offers in a clear, concise manner. Next is the process. Working with us, you go through a certain implementation. Now, if you're a hairdresser, you do the same thing. First consultation, then, as you can tell, I'm not a hairdresser. I look like Johnny Bravo with my hair. But anyway, there are people who have better style than me. So there's a process that you go through, right? I could have just brought in fashion. That's way better. But there's a certain process that you go through to get that perfect haircut. In this case, working with you as a service provider, individual selling products, whatever that is, there's a certain process that you go through. you want to make sure that you highlight that. And again, I'll share my website so you guys can actually see that. But really, we walk you through the 1, 2, 3 process of working with us, so that even before you go and jump on a call with me, which I can tell you, your users will and website visitors will not want to get on a call with you at all. Period. End of story. People hate jumping on calls with salespeople like myself because they would much rather be walking their dog or doing literally anything else than jumping on a call with me. So rather than jumping on a call to know about my process, my website is my salesperson in this case, walking them through what makes us special. I'll just quickly highlight because I did bring up my website so I can really show everyone. Making concise, right? Really quickly, you can learn what we do. And then we actually go through a much more in-depth size and experiment on our theories behind why this works. For your solution, there's so many different ways, and happy to go through what a process does mean for you, but definitely laying it out in a concise manner on your website is going to be one of the best sales tactics I can offer. Next is social proof. If you are on Amazon wanting to buy a product and there's 0 reviews or a lot of negative reviews, even if you don't think about it, you're biased. You see that as a bad investment into this product, and services are no different. So the quicker you can get to getting client testimonials or logos on your website, the more you're going to be able to convert. And I get it. It's scary asking anyone for a testimonial. It doesn't have to be this hard, ask. But definitely, if you can phrase it in a way that gets people excited, and I always say there's about 10 to 15% of customers you have right now, whether you're a direct-to-consumer or service-based model, you're going to have 10 to 15% of people who love what you do. They love you, your mission. Before we actually had social proof in regards to client testimonials, I actually asked people on my LinkedIn for recommendations, and with their permission, I added those recommendations to your website. And I can also show you on LinkedIn how you can very simply ask anyone from past employers to colleagues that you write your recommendations. Those you can then tailor on your website. And logos are no different. Most likely in the beginning of any contract or whatnot, you can actually include a little contingency. If you do good work, we can use your logo. Or I know a lot of website designers do that as well. But again, it's getting that social proof so that when you're on this website, someone visits it, they are actually more enticed to say, okay, people like me have gone through this process. Maybe I should trust them a little bit more. Next is something that in marketing is definitely undervalued, which is a direct call to action, some type of thing that you want your end customer to do. Frankly speaking, I'll be very candid. In my line of work, I'm doing this through email and LinkedIn a lot more than people actually coming to my website. But with that being said, we do have the option for someone to schedule a direct call with me, fill out a form, chat with my assistants on the website. But I want to make this as simple as possible for someone who is interested in what my website has to offer to get a hold of me. Because frankly, you can send 1,000 people to your website, but if you don't have a direct call to action and an action you want them to do, you will see a massive drop off with people. And frankly, like, why send them to your website at all then, right, if you don't have a call to action? And there's many mechanisms: call, chat, fill out a form, snail mail, maybe enter your address and I'll send you a letter. Maybe that could work. That is one simple way. When I looked over some of the insights that people wanted to go over for this presentation, is saying, what is the best tools for website development? There are countless. Every single day, there's a new type of website creation tool out there. For this presentation, I want you, and frankly, for your business, don't get fancy right off the get practical. I used a website called the Wayback Machine to show you, I'll refresh it right here, how bad, frankly, our website was when we first got started. It was archaic, the fonts didn't match, whatever that was. We just needed something up, and you can see there's the system is not letting me show everything, but it was a very archaic, ugly website. I just needed something up as soon as possible so that when I do outreach, they can have that call to action. that I wanted them to take, the social proof, the process. I wanted them to just know that we're a real company. And over time, it's now progressed into this beautiful website that we just launched actually a couple of days ago, where it's interactive and actually gets the job done. So the biggest advice I have to use, pick something, whether it's Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, ClickFunnels, whatever that is, and get started. You can always iterate on top, but the more time your website spends up there, the higher it's going to rank, and frankly, the more iterations that you'll learn, because it's always great to have a theory about a website. That's another thing that should put it into implementation. I also noticed that people were asking about tools. There's amazing tools out there for graphic design. We do a lot of our graphic design work through a website called Canva.com. We have tools. We've hired designers and, frankly, in the beginning stages, website developers to help us with ours. You can get someone very cost effective here in the States on Upwork or Fiverr. If you're wondering, how do I find great images? Unsplash.com is another great one. For all of you who love data, there is a website called Hotjar that we use to track website analytics. So where are people going on our website? Where are they clicking? Should we enhance something here? Should we enhance something there? And it's kind of scary. I can actually log into mine to show you how it is, but you can actually track users and see how they're traversing your website, where they're clicking, which is, again, as a marketer, that's the best thing ever, because if I see that you get lost after a certain page, I can enhance it. So Hotjar is another great one for those analytic geeks out there. So I want to keep this presentation very short because I personally hate long presentations. I hate when someone's lecturing at me. I'm like, okay, let's just cut to it. What do I need to know? So the next steps, I've gone through the whole presentation I really wanted to go through. I want to get very practical with you. Do you want me to audit a website? There are a ton of FAQs that were submitted. Do you want me to go over those now? Do you actually want me to help you with a outline and develop a outline for your specific venture? I really want to maximize your time and give as much value as I can during this conversation. So these are the three options I have. So I'd love to hear from the audience where we can go with this conversation. Otherwise, I will pick one, but I guess that's a lot less fun. So audience members, how can I make this the most valuable meeting that you attend this week?
Hey, Nico, I'm not sure if you can see the chat. We have
there's a
Tina.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
no, you're good.
Perfect.
Tina says that she has a website already for her nonprofit, and she was hoping that you can maybe review it. And
Perfect.
the website, I'm not sure if can you see it in there?
I don't see Tina's. If you can share it really quickly, while we do that, I'll just go through the list of FAQs. I wasn't even paying attention.
Perfect.
Eric, what website builder would you recommend? We use Wix. I pulled up Wix here so that you can see like our old sites here. It's been one of the better tools we've had. We've done WordPress before. If you're a coder and you like plugins and like the tinker, WordPress might be a cool one. But we just use Wix. It's simple and gets the job done. I'll just pull up this really quickly. Thank you all for being here, by the way, while I get through all these. It's so much fun when there's a lot of participants. Okay, just making sure there's no other questions. Okay, this is good. Call to action for product. Yeah, it's I would phrase a call to action for a product in a manner of like, you have this problem, right? Are you ready to solve this problem? Click this link or something like that. But I'll go through those questions a little later. So we're doing a website audit. Cool. And there's a couple other tools I might be bringing up here and there. Like I'm going to pull up. I don't have it on this page, but I'm going to bring up a different page. There's a tool I like to use called Wappalizer. I'll bring it up here so you guys can see that I can actually see the tech stack that's being used on a specific. Let me stop sharing and reshare. So it's a very simple tech stack. It's called Wappalizer. So from here, I can kind of see, okay, this is a WordPress website running on WooCommerce. You have Vimeo in there. So, I mean, if you want to geek out, Yoast, okay, that's perfect. So you already have SEO optimized. Cool. So let's look at this really quickly. Providing online. See, and this is exactly right. Like it's a value add statement, providing online telehealth consultants, products, and at-home health tests. So the one thing I will say, and this is, I mean, this is me getting very picky, is I would potentially make the video like slightly darker, because there are certain elements, right? So naturally, right there, it's perfect with the darker background, but with the green, it's kind of a little hard to read. So I don't know if you can see right here, it's a little hard to read. So I would make the background a tad bit darker. Again, you have your call to actions here. I would potentially, just because they kind of blend into the background, I would potentially do your call to actions here. Well, maybe black, like a darker background with black here, so I know that to click on them, right? Providing online teleconsultants. This is, yeah, I like this. Together with scientific solutions to take your health. Yeah, I like this. I mean, if I came to your website instantly and make, as long as I am a online health consultant, or someone interested in this, it again, let me scroll through. I just want to make sure that I am getting to know the target market a little. Again, I want to know, it always answering the question, what's in it for me, right? So like, I as whom come to this website. Again, you assume that people will come to your website from a specific place, but you just never know. I love this, bullet points, boom, boom, boom. I love that. I would potentially, and again, this is being very nitpicky, I would potentially put this image, like these two images here, and move this over so that as soon as I'm coming from here, instantly, like I'm looking at boom, 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 or even putting those key points 1, 2, 3 with images on top, and the images referring back to that. Again, just different theories. I would highly recommend for you specifically on this website, get Hotjar. Like, let's see if I can get a Hotjar off here. Like, I'm making theories and I'm guessing on this until you get someone and watch them traverse your website. I've spent hundreds of hours watching, and it sounds so weird to say, watching people navigate my website to see where can I improve everything. I would, and again, this is very slight, I would make this background a little darker because of I want to make this very clear that this is a next section and bring this up. There's a little dead space here. I don't know how this looks on mobile. Maybe it was made so to be optimized on mobile. I bring this up. Yeah, I would bring this down slightly, because you want, if someone can't afford your service, you want to pre-qualify them in and out as fast as possible. So I would bring this down like right here. Again, I love this. Let's see this really quick. So there are ways, and maybe it's just because of me, you can see how they're slightly pixelated here. Just open this really quick. So one thing you might want to do, yeah, okay, so this is good. So you can see at the bottom how this image is being cut off. You can come to a website, it's called remove.bg. You can take this, you download it as a JPEG or PNG, throw it in here, and it'll actually remove the background. And then you might have to re-download it because I can see like the lines being cut here and there. Again, no one's going to notice that, but like people like me, like I can slightly see it. Yeah, I would almost like continue with this theme of blue, like how we discussed up here. So it's very, I would, so one thing I don't see here, which I think for your market specifically would be helpful, is like a video. So I would, right up here, again, remember like social proof. So I want to add like video testimonials of like, as soon as I'm boom, why, and I would right here start adding social proof, right? So video testimonials, It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be people talking on their iPhones. That's what I would do. And again, use Unsplash. Unsplash is so great. I have, oh, the screen is not Unsplash. If you're looking for high quality images that are free to use Unsplash. They just have a wider range of images that you can use, because you can even see a little bit of these are pixelated. So they're still stock pictures, but from my experience, they've been very clean. I love it. One thing I didn't see in here. Oh yeah, and this disclaimer, I would just make this longer down here so it's not as squished to the top. One thing I'm not seeing here is, and again, you don't have to worry about this right now, but I would install the Facebook pixel tracker so that in the future you can start just getting data. And if you want to run ads in the future, you already have that pixel built up. It's just a way to track. Just want to check these real quick. You don't know how many websites I go to. So right here, oh, there we go. I go to that the social links aren't working. So those all look like they're working. So that's great. I think great website overall. Like I have zero complaints with it. The one thing I'm going to complain is why isn't it live? Or if this is, maybe it is live, but if this is a live site, go to GoDaddy or Wix and buy a very cheap, like $10 domain. Because if I come to this and I see this right here, I might think, oh, a little scammy. So.
It is the original website is KaiaLongevity.com. And
okay, got it. So this is a redirect.
This is the new one that we're
launching. Got it. Cool. Oh, so okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I think this is great overall. Like I don't have any problem with it. Again, I think for you it's just data, right? Like how. And let me just look at these. This isn't a social conversation, but this is great. This is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, I would have to check these more. Is this where's your biggest driver coming from? Is it from like social or SEO, or because I did notice you had SEO optimized. Where's most of your traffic coming from? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, it's social, but we're going to start increasing SEO.
Cool.
And commercials.
You have Google Analytics in here? I don't see it in my tech stack. You probably do, but if you don't,
not in this site. I have it in the actual website. That's
Cool. Yeah, no, I love it. Like I said, it's if you're getting these numbers though, like that's a solid approach. I'd love to talk to you about like the direct message campaigns that you might or might not be running, because I think they could feel that, or influencer. Like again, for this, like this could be an interesting influencer play. But overall, fantastic website. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, let me just go through attention to detail, guys. Like I've just you could probably go to my website and find like tons of things wrong. It's just one after you've done it for review list available. Yeah, I can bring up a lot of these beneficial websites. I guess for me it's in by websites I mean like tools and whatnot. I can bring up a lot of different tools. For me, it's always like, what do you want to accomplish, right? Like, so all the ones I brought up, I can bring up. There's so many tools out there. We'll make a recording. Okay. Any other questions? That there's another one. Scientificteam.org. Perfect. So we're auditing scientific team. It's a little bigger. Okay. Scientific team by teams, for teams. Okay. So first off the get, I would just move. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so these are editable, right? So like one thing I would do is just move this on over. So bring the search. No, that's weird. Bring that search bar up a little bit, and then move all these over, because the search seems to be kind of just floating in an interesting spot. So I would just do that. Make this very clear. I would almost make this a little bigger. super small. Again, like this is so small. See how there's like right slightly, I would just move this down, increase the size and move this down so it's aligned with this, or with this. Super small, but I can kind of see it there. Again, not the biggest deal in the world. I would remove these lines, just a heads up, because it's clear that the page is breaking because of this color right here, marble texture coming down. Call to action right there, testimonials. So one thing I would do, so I see this and I say the scientific teen, I can assume it's science for teens. But I would have some type of statement here that says, we are a group of teens changing the world, educating, or whatever the concept is, just so someone is like, oh, great. And here's the team, here's the people who accomplished that. So there's another statement there. Subscribe, so I can tell this is probably on, I've seen this template on GoDaddy maybe. Stop sharing, so I'm gonna reshare.
It's we're designing this on Wix right now.
Wix, cool.
Yeah, but there's a lot of work.
I remember this from our earlier days, so don't even worry. Yeah, for you guys as well. Again, like I'm just some random guy that you guys met today, so I would still like analytics, right? Let your data show. Right here, though, I would move this read more in the center, right? It feels a little squished, so I would give this some. We'll just make mine the whole size. Yeah, so I would probably don't want to do this. I would move all this over just slightly, and then move this one a little bit just to give it a little bit of breathing room because it seems very condensed. Move this over here, and I would move these little buttons right down here. For you specifically, since I'm seeing a lot of like keywords here, I would start building as many backlinks as possible. By backlinks, I just see this individual. Can you highlight her and go back to her LinkedIn? You just want to start building up your brand authority a little bit more. So that works. Podcast is awesome. Positions are open. So just off the get, I'm seeing a lot of call to actions. Subscribe, the open positions, podcasts, right? So I mean, is it fine? Yes. Just again, it's maybe making each section a different call to action. So are you looking for internships or a job or something like in a different section? Because like here I'm getting a little overwhelmed by like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to read the article? Do you want me to subscribe? All that. Again, most people are much more educated and frankly like okay than me. I'm just telling you my first impressions. Sweet. Are these? Can you tell me what was the thought process between the featured section and the latest section?
The featured articles are, more like really, really well written articles that we want to advertise, and the latest ones are obviously the ones that are latest.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
The reason I said that is because from my eyes, like these two are the same, right? So maybe it's because they're sites in the early days. So maybe your plan is like, oh, we're gonna add a lot more content and the latest will just update. These two won't be the same. These two won't be the same. It's just like, which one do you want me to pick? I would almost like break it down by category. So like having, it's so hard. I get where you're going with this once you explained it. Have any direct advice there? Again, this is, oh, that's cool. I like animation in there. I would potentially bring COVID up a little bit, just because like people might be sick of COVID. Yeah, ignore me actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all the links seem to work. Yeah, I think overall it's a and again, You have a lot here. I think it's a good website. I would just really look. One thing I'm not seeing is like, I would emphasize the team, right? Like if you want people to, but it's 14s by teens, I would almost like make this a key section, not as like a piece of I wouldn't say this is throwaway, but like I would make this much bigger. Like, oh, people like me did this. This is awesome. This is why I'm coming to this website. So I would almost make a section, make this its own dedicated section rather than all of this together, so that I can start identifying with my favorite writers or individuals. But yeah, no, overall, not a bad website at all. Again, same thing. I would, Wix. Again, yeah, add Google Analytics, just so that when you're putting on a new article and whatnot, and just let me know, are you putting your articles on Medium.com as well?
No, we're not. We're actually just putting it on Wix.
Oh, every website. Again, you want to, so I would directly copy and paste your pieces of content in here with backlinks back to your website. Same with LinkedIn and everything like that. You would be astounded by the amount of uptick in people. Like, I mean, we can. I don't know where a new site our Google Analytics is, but like from my personal LinkedIn, like if I put out a blog, even though it looks like few people engage with it, like each time I put out an article that's directly copied from my website, like, there's such an uptick in viewership and retention. So each one of those individuals that you mentioned, put this on, put this, these are directly, if we go to our old website, these are directly copied from my website. So Medium, just start putting them over there, and potentially, yeah, just do Medium right now. You're going to see an uptick in people coming to your website. We can talk about social marketing another time, but yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Awesome. It all comes with time. You go with the progression of social media. Would you recommend going app-based over website? My target audience is 14 to 18-year-old college-bound athletes, and most seem to go apps over websites. This is a good question. Okay, so depending, and this is why your audience matters so much, because frankly, like if I'm targeting as a marketer, right? If I'm targeting people 14 to 18, again, and can you just tell me really quickly what's your offering? Let me just pull up my chat really quick so I can see this again. Like, what do I want them to do once I have their attention? Social media would like to recommend going copies. Yeah, and I mean, if I did high school contact with colleges. Oh, that's great. I would honestly, and Jonathan, like this is like a different type of like business model, but I would almost use like, I don't want to say a website's irrelevant, but I would just do social. Like frankly, like if I was targeting this audience, Instagram Reels, TikTok, that's where I would be hanging out. And I would aggregate them on a website or some bulletin board or something like that. Like if you're in a tech community, and this is why I'm, what is it? Or Hacker News. Like, so Y Combinator, very famous investment or accelerator. They have a online forum, right, that you can actually be a part of, very similar to Reddit, that you can build. It's not that hard to build these, but like I would almost like find them on social and get them into a chat room like this. Chat rooms are really getting big again. Hacker News, like I said, is a great way if you're tech, like heavy into tech. Great way to go. But there's so many different forums. I would make a website forum type of deal, because if you want to build like a community and connect, especially like two parties, i.e. high school students and then college recruiters or whatnot, this might be an interesting play. Like I said, I've seen people build some really cool aggregators, so like connecting people together. So that might just be But yeah, I would do, and by the way, if you're not doing TikTok, please message me, or you can just look, I post TikToks. I used to do, candidly, I'll be honest with you guys, I got burnt out from this, but I did 30 pieces of content a day. Now I have somewhat of a team, so they do a lot of the high level stuff for me. But like, if anyone's interested, just let me know. I'll show you how we did it. I have a ton of webinars if you want to do that. If we're looking at UI for this website, and Jonathan, message me if I wasn't clear with my strategy there. You got just, I love that. So what I'm looking for right now is, again, I'm looking for like value prop. I would honestly make this smaller and this one bigger. That's the most important thing. And even if you can add, like simplify for business owners, for tech companies, if you can just like highlight who it's simple for. And again, in the early stages, it's like, oh, but for everyone. Like, so might not be the best advice, but like I would make this much bigger. Same with the background, it's slightly hard to read, like not really, but I always like this. I'm guessing there's a reason you put incognito mode. Again, this is very slight, but you can see, that blue. So one thing you can do is if you go to canva.com, you just make this a little bigger. And then even on Canva, just so I can show you guys this really quickly. They have options for like an iPhone. You could hypothetically just like design this image right in here, and then put a black line and then download it and just upload it in here. That could save you some of this, so you avoid like these blue lines. Otherwise, Tempe, it's great. What I'm looking for right now, I'm looking for, so this is good. I would, again, right here, startup that provides 501(c)(3)s. So I would even put that like right there. Tools and information to start using Java. Why? This is my biggest question. Okay, great. But for what? What's the outcome? Is it more money, better data for, again, like sell me the solution, right? Like that's the biggest thing I tell everyone is like, if we can sell them the solution, like it's great. Most businesses know they need more tech, but like to support their growth. So I'm guessing like to make more money, right? Just like in very normal people terms. So right here, I would almost focus a little bit more on like highlighting that, like we help X to achieve Y, and here's some backup text to give you a little context. So what I'm looking for right now is these look good. I'm just making sure they're not pixelated. I would was this? Oh, okay. So I got what you're doing right here. I would because like for me, again, I like, you guys have seen how I've traversed websites. Like I like to highlight things. So like hypothetically, that could be annoying to highlight that. So potentially I might just like, let's like, people like me love to do this, like try to break websites. So I would again, I would make this a little small. I would keep it the same. I would make this like pretty big. So I would take this phone and maybe I would flip it to get what you're trying to do here, and maybe that'll work. I would actually, because I'm a visual person, so I would bring this up a little bit. So what is GIS? here's a map, and then explain boom and boom, these two value props, and then have this underneath that. That makes sense. So, and again, we're going tools heavy today, right? And so I'll show you, again, visual person like myself, what I would do is yeah. So what I would do, move this up, move this all the way to the bottom, and then make these two go right center. That makes sense. And I'll just if you want to send me an email, nico@getbalancemedia.com, I can make a Loom video to explain what I'm doing here. And I would just include this one all the way up here. I don't separate key features. And then I don't know if this was, there we go. So I don't know why there's a delay there, but yeah, probably just a small thing on the back end. Great. Some good looking gentlemen there. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, so your call to action will probably be donate or something like that, or here it is, let's talk. Cool. Yeah, I think it's overall a great site. I would just make those small tweaks. And like I said, nico@getboundlessmedia.com. For anyone, I can shoot a custom video just to walk you through and offer a couple of suggestions here and there. So I will just that. Cool, awesome. Awesome. Any other questions? We have 10 minutes left. I appreciate everyone's patience and sticking with me. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you the best advice I ever got about digital is that it will always change. So there's no like perfect website formula. Every single company that you know and you visit has gone through thousands of iterations of their websites daily, some of them, but they all got started. So my biggest advice to you is go with a very simple design, very simple theory. Let's just get this done, right? At the end of the day, can we just, that's my website. Can we collectively just do this? Clear value prop, process, talking about this, social proof, and a direct call to action. And this might be the most valuable slide in my whole deck, which is like, if you can just get this done, you're light years away. If you are wondering how to, I did a presentation not too long ago for customer and identification. I can send this to anyone who wants. You can see like our colors are more or less the same. But if you're still struggling with who's your ideal client, I have a whole thing about like how to target, businesses and stuff. Videos on YouTube, I can send it over. But yeah, the biggest thing is like know your audience better than anyone, and you'll be successful and be able to translate that, right? So okay, let me put my email in there. nico@getboundlessmedia.com. Oh, everyone. But yeah, no, this has been awesome, everyone. Like really, I hope you gleaned a ton of insights from this. How do you ask someone for a testimonial in a good way? I still get nervous asking people for testimonials. Bribes work really well. So like everyone that you saw that I actually asked, I sent them something. I was like, hey, would it be crazy if I bought you lunch and you sent me a testimonial? And they're like, haha, you don't have to send me lunch, but like I'll take it anyway. So depending on the person, right? In the early days, like I mentioned my LinkedIn. It's very easy to ask someone on LinkedIn, especially even if you don't have a digital footprint there. You can just go down here and you can ask for a recommendation. I can ask Dana, she's here. Yeah. almost as simple as like if you guys went to the same school or whatnot. I don't know why it's asking me not to. Oh, select a relationship. We were colleagues. We're students together. There we go. It's almost as simple as that, right? Asking for recommendations. And this is a great way to do with your professional network. If that's something that doesn't scare you too much, this could be a cool way to like very passively ask. Otherwise, I mean, trying to think of someone I could message really quickly. Trying to think if there's someone I haven't talked to in a while. I could just ask for a recommendation. Yeah, there's probably here. So I have a individual that we've done work with in the past. So selfishly, I've known him really well, so I could be like, "Hey, James." It's a lot less scary because I text him all the time. Like, "Hey, James, I am. We have. How do I say this? You are having the best day ever." Again, there's a reason that Grammarly is the best. Another great tool, Grammarly. Make sure that your spelling grammar is awesome. I feel like a walking infomercial. Have a massive favor to ask. Would you mind sending me a recommendation from when we worked together on, just so I do have NDA signed with this specific client, but like, so I'll just say client here. I won't send it, but in this case, you just enter, we're in the services space, like the client name on the client, right? So like something like that. And then I would do set a follow-up. So just on your phone, set a reminder, if James doesn't respond in 2 days, I proactively send them like a $5 gift card. Again, testimonials are the lifeblood of my business. Like, even though I'm a lead generation agency, I close more deals from referrals than anyone else. Like, if someone refers someone to me, I'm closing at like a 90%, versus like if I cold direct message someone or email someone, which is like a 33%. So $5 testimonial to like 10 clients, $50 is going to pay me thousands and thousands of dollars at the end of the day. So I would just send them something like this, and do maybe like a PS. And again, this is on LinkedIn. This works really well. So you can go to this post. PS. I can't wait to learn about the big things that you have coming up. Again, I just referenced his like post right here. So like he said, big things are coming. I don't know what big things that are like coming to him. I don't know. So you can just add this like custom little PS in there, or send them a video, right? Like hypothetically, you shoot a video and say, James, haven't heard from you in forever. Listen, like I'm really looking at revamping my website. Would love a client testimonial. If you can send that over to me, I would be eternally grateful and whatnot. So any strategies when it comes to recommendations? It's not easy. Like it's not easy, but so needed. So yeah, if there's no other questions, I will let the boss take it over.
Yeah, any last minute questions? I know we're coming up on time here, but I mean, how do you guys feel after going through this? Drop it in the chat. I know for me, it was awesome. Simone, yes, recording for the event. Let me drop that in the chat. We do have the link for that. That will be uploaded by tomorrow. Let me just pull that up. And that is where all of our club recordings are. So I just dropped that in the chat. And yeah, so I mean, do we have any last minute questions? Feel free to unmute if you'd like.
Yeah, and you have my email. Just like put in the caption or the subject line, I have question. I came from this about or whatnot, so that either my assistant doesn't think it's spam. That'd be really helpful. I don't want to put you guys in spam.
Love that. Perfect. Well, cool. Thank you, Nico, so much. This was amazing.
welcome.
Again, you have his email. Don't forget to join us for the pitch prep workshop. So I just dropped that sign up link in the chat. I'll stay on for a couple minutes here if you have any questions specific to the club or Venture Devils or whatever. But yeah, I hope this was really helpful, and have a great rest of your day. And make sure you're wearing green if you go out. Don't get pinched.
No, that's super fun. Thanks everyone. Again, yeah, no, it's